What's up guys, it's here by Nino Quadji, and welcome back to another big baller video on Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Multiplayer Season 2 Reloaded. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys my new updated best settings throughout Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Multiplayer and Warzone. Like I usually do, every seasonal update or every reloaded update, I go ahead and show you guys my updated settings because people are always curious if I've changed anything. People are curious how I aim so well or whatever the case is. And if you guys are interested in seeing my best controller, audio, sensitivity, graphics, settings on any platform, including both console and PC, because I'll be going on my PS5 as well, then make sure you guys drop a like in the video, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. And if you're wondering if any of these settings work, just look at any of my past videos. I specialize in dropping high kill nukes here on multiplayer and just having fun in the game. So go ahead and check out some previous videos if you guys don't believe me at the moment. But I just want to say thank you for being here and watching this video at the moment. Let's go ahead and start things off with my best controller settings that I use both on PC and PS5. So before we go over the button layout, don't forget to swap your L1 and R1 with L2, R2 if you're on PlayStation. But of course, you don't have to swap it if you don't want to, if you're like on Xbox or whatever. The reason I do that is because the button layout that I use is bumper, jumper, tactical, flipped. Now, if you're on console, this might say like bumper, jumper, or it's going to say something a little bit different, but if you look at the controller layout, you'll see that it's pretty much the same. And basically what this transforms the controller to is a special controller for free. I'm able to jump with L2, I'm able to aim in with L1, shoot with R1, being basically a lot more responsive to jump shotting, drop shotting and sliding with the R3 here. And I'm just able to be more fluid with the movement. I've been playing this way since Black Ops 3 back in 2015, and over the past 10 years of Call of Duty in my life, I've been mastering the movement no matter what COD comes through. So it's a very good controller layout. If you don't want to take the time to master it, then that's cool, but I'm telling you, if you get to learn this, you don't have to buy a special controller or anything like that just to master the movement of this game. And as we all know, movement's a very vital part of this game. So I just think, taking some time to master this will be beneficial to you in the long run. And if you're wondering what this is right here, this is a nice little control freak that I've got. You can get one yourself by going over to controlfreak.com and using code HERO. For a nice little discount. So I think it just helps you a little bit in terms of your sensitivity. Stick layout preset is going to be a default. Horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity are going to be 1.95 and 1.95. I used to play on an 8 or a 9, and this allows me to master my accuracy, in my opinion. Rest of these are going to be off. Controller vibration off. Dead zone inputs, obviously going to be up to your own personal preference. I usually have my left stick min and my right stick min around 3 to 8 more or less, just so when I test it, as you guys can see, it says 0%, which means I have no stick drift with these settings. You can leave your left stick max and right stick max, whatever they are. And for my left trigger and my right trigger, I always have them a little bit higher because, like I said before, I play on bumper, jumper, tactical, flipped. But if you shoot with your actual triggers, you do want these as low as possible. Once again, it's dependent on your playstyle. Going over to sensitivity multiplier now, we're going to go ahead and keep everything on 1 here. Look conversion on foot, standard, aiming advanced settings. We got everything on standard here. ADS sensitivity transition time, we got it on instant to be as instantaneous as possible. Third person ADS correction type assist. Aim response curve type. When it comes to dynamic, linear, or standard, dynamic is just the golden child of all these. A lot of pros have played on this. A lot of people have tested this in the past 5 years, and dynamic just seems to give you the most stickiest aim assist, at least from my opinion as well. Now, of course, it's up to you to test each one and see what you feel like the best with, but I think dynamic might be up your alley. Aim response curve slope scale, just leave it at 1. You don't want to lower this anymore just because it might mess with your sensitivity in the end. And the custom sensitivity per zoom, we got that on. We got the first 3 options at 0.9 just to be a little bit more steady with our shot. And then the 6x zoom to the high zooms are going to be 1.20 just because at that point the zooms are a little bit sluggish and you want to be able to drag them or move with them a little bit more rapidly just to be a little bit more snappy with them. Moving onwards, we got target aim assist on. Of course, man, we're controller players. We can't function with our aim assist. Motion sensor behavior off and motion sensor advanced settings. I don't care for those. Going on forward, we got sprint assist, which is going to be on. And we have sprint assist sideways and sprint assist backwards on as well. So this is basically omni movement. If you don't like omni movement at all, just turn these off and you'll find a little bit better, systems with that. And if you want attack sprint always on, then go for it. I just like my regular sprint. I always had this off in previous Call of Duties, but omni movement is such a vital part of this game. Having it on at all times is pretty beneficial from what I found. Mantle assist is going to be off, and then here are my settings for all the rest of them. And then crouch assist is going to be off, and here's my crouch assist tactical sprint. And a quarter slicing is going to be on, or you could be off if you don't like the little lean thing every time you go around the corner. Slide/dive behavior going to be tap to slide, or you could do hybrid or slide only, whatever the case might be. And then your slide/dive activation delay could be short or medium or long. This makes it the most responsive, so I keep it on short for that reason. Automatic airborne mantle on, sprint restore on, side maintain sprint on. You guys can read the rest of these. Movement advanced settings. All of this should be pretty self-explanatory. Now, auto move forward, I keep it off just because I want to be in more control of my player. But whenever I do move, I'm going to be sprinting because of the sprint assist. So that's kind of my option there. And the rest of this should kind of make sense too. And in vehicle advanced settings, here's how they look. It don't really change that much. When it comes to my combat settings, I believe all of these are essentially default. Armor plate behavior, I believe you should apply all, just because that's going to keep you alive in Warzone in my eyes, instead of just applying one at a time. And then going over to combat advanced settings, all of this should be personal preference, except for interact/reload behavior. Now, if you're playing multiplayer, tap to reload is going to be the best way to go. But if you're playing Warzone, prioritize interact is the best way to go, because when you do prioritize interact, this allows you to loot faster and be a lot more responsive in your actions, because Warzone can be a little bit slow at times, but this is going to speed the gameplay up, speed the looting process. So I highly recommend prioritize interact when you're playing Warzone, but tap to reload in multiplayer. Everything else here is kind of personal preference. And when it comes to akimbo behavior, if you have it on paired, that means when you shoot one akimbo pistol or weapon or whatever the heck you're using that's an akimbo, the other one will shoot at the same time. I like having control over it, but if you'd rather just have them shoot at the same time, then keep paired on. Next up with the overlay settings, we got scoreboard map stash behavior, toggle, and then overlay advanced settings. These are just what I have by default, and that is our controller settings here. Let's go ahead and move on to our PC graphics settings, and then I'll show you guys my console graphics settings afterwards. Starting things off, we got display mode at full screen borderless. If you play on PC, I do recommend full screen exclusive if you can, but because I do, I am a content creator and I do everything on one PC and one monitor, I try to, obviously keep everything, I tab in and out, but usually that's not good if you're on full screen only. So this is some technicality stuff. And then display adapter, we got NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 Ti. I want to upgrade to the 5080 if I can in due time. We got the 144 Hertz refresh rate monitor. I have 1440p, 144 Hertz, 27-inch curved AOC monitor in case anybody's curious, and I got the rest of my PC specs on screen, hopefully. Display resolution 1440, and everything else here should be pretty much personal preference. Video reflex low latency, on plus boost, but you can try on or off depending on whatever might feel the best, but on plus boost is what feels the best for me, and has definitely helped a lot actually. Eco mode preset is going to be custom. The rest is going to be up to your personal preference. Custom frame limits, there they are. And then everything else here is personal preference. And then going over to quality here, we got render resolution at, these numbers because it's able to give me more frames essentially. And then dynamic resolution should be off. Upscaling/sharpening, we got fidelity FX cast. And our cast strength is going to be 100. And then you could turn this on or off, but I heard there's input delay when you put it on, which is the only reason I don't have it on. But if you're struggling with frames, this might be a really nice way to go. And I've got variable rate shading on as well, which is really nice as well on my PC. Texture resolution normal, texture filter anisotropic normal, depth of field off, detail quality low, particle resolution very low, blow impacts on, persistent effects off, shader quality low, on-demand texture streamer minimal. But of course you can do optimize and just put the lowest settings. And then if you're wondering about my settings, here they are. Local texture screening quality low, shadow quality very low, SSS off, occlusion and screen space sliding off, SSR off, static reflection quality low, tessellation off, volumetric quality low, deferred physics quality off, weather grid volumes quality off, and water quality is going to be off as well. And then going on to our field of view here, 120 allows me to see as far as possible and see as many opponents as I can, allowing me to get more kills and hopefully not die as much. 80 field of view is going to be independent. Now, the difference between independent and affected is that if you play on unaffected, whatever your FOV is from the previous setting is going to be your FOV always. So it's going to be 120 FOV when I aim in. It's going to be 120 FOV when I'm aiming out. With independent, my FOV goes down to 80 when I'm aiming in. You might be wondering, Hero, why are you having a lower FOV when you're aiming in? Isn't that bad? And technically not. When you're ADSing, you're trying to focus in on something. And thus, everything looks a lot bigger when you have a lower FOV, and this allows you to be a lot more accurate in my eyes at least, and you're going to be able to retain your accuracy a lot better at those farther ranges in any case. But of course, if you're always in close ranges, you can just run affected. But I'm telling you, independent is going to be make you ready for any sort of scenario, and that's why I like it. Weapon field of view is going to be wide, third person field of view 90, vehicle field of view wide. Basically, with wide, the gun is as small as possible, and you can see as much of your screen as possible, and you can apply the same logic to vehicle field of view. World motion blur, weapon motion blur are both going to be off, because if you have a blurry game, you're not going to be able to see your environment as well, and thus you're going to end up losing a lot more gunfights from a dude being blurry in the corner of your eye or something. And then for our first person and third person camera movements, they're both going to be 50%, because if you have them at 100%, then the game is super shaky, and that's going to hurt you a ton. And then the rest of this can be your own personal preference. But with that being said, let's hop on my PC or my console, my PS5, and show you guys my graphics settings there. And then we'll go to our audio settings. So here we are on my PS5, and for my console graphics settings, we got the 120 Hz refresh rate on. If you're able to do this, which is available on the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S consoles, if you have a 120 plus Hertz monitor, you should definitely turn it on, because it's going to make your game way more responsive. I've also got HDR on, but of course you don't have to have that on if you don't want to. Eco mode preset off. Our world motion blur and our weapon motion blur are both off, just because you have any blurriness that's going to hurt you. Depth of field is going to be off for the same reason, because it also makes the background kind of blurry. Fidelity FX cast on, and we got the strength all the way to 90. On demand texture streaming is going to be optimized, but we've got it on like the lowest limits or whatever the case is. So you can either do optimized or minimal, doesn't really matter in my opinion. And for our view settings, we got field of view at 120. Max FOV is just the best way to go. ADS field of view of independent, weapon field of view wide. I went more in depth on my reasoning onto this on my PC graphics settings section, so go back if you guys are interested in the reasoning. Third person field of view 90, vehicle field of view wide. First person and third person camera movement at least 50%. You do not want to have it at less or default, because that gives you more shakiness, and the least amount of shakiness is going to make you a little bit more steady with your shot, and everything else is personal preference. So that's it for my console graphics settings. Let me hop back on my PC and then show you guys my audio settings. Let's rock and roll. So here we are on my audio settings back on my PC, and it's just the same audio that I use basically on every platform, including my consoles. Master game volume is going to be 100. Gameplay music volume is going to be 0, because we don't need to hear the music in order to hear footsteps. Dialogue volume is going to be at 44, just because we want to be able to still hear some callouts, hear the voices, and they could provide with some very useful information. And effects volume should be maxed out, just because that's going to be helping you hear footsteps, glass breaking, windows breaking, somebody armor plating up, reloading. Just a lot of things you can hear in this game if you really focus up, and the effects volume really come in clutch for that reason. Cinematic music volume is going to be at 22, not really anything too crazy there, but that's the general balance that I've got there. And then when it comes to enhanced headphone mode, I just have it on because I feel like it helps, but of course you can turn it off and just rely on the stuff that we got here. This is not the paid audio or anything, I just have it on because it's free or whatever. Audio mix is going to be Sucker Punch, which I think is the best one because it makes everything the loudest. But of course you can try Headphone Space Boost, Home Theater, or even the Treyarch mix, but it's up to you at the end of the day. And then everything else here is kind of your own personal preference. I got reduced tinnitus sound on. And voice chat, here are my voice chat settings, nothing too crazy there. And let's move on to my interface settings, where you can kind of just read here. Telemetry, we got FPS, server, and packet loss on, just because I want to know how much I'm lagging and see how good my FPS is in that lobby or whatever the case may be. Helps me, you know, reduce some issues, I guess you could say. And then going over to readability, subtitles. If you want to have subtitles on, then go for it, but the way it is that subtitles are a little bit too busy for me as a content creator, but as a player, I would love to have subtitles on, because being able to read something before they call it out is going to make you more responsive than just hearing it, because sometimes things be delayed because there's a lot of things going on in the game. So that's why I do recommend subtitles, but as a content creator, I think it looks ugly when I post like my content and stuff, my videos and my streams and stuff to you guys, and yes, you see a whole bunch of text. So that's why I don't put it on, but I do recommend it personally. And then going over to gameplay HUD, when it comes to multiplayer HUD presets, I really recommend magnified. Just because it makes your HUD overall bigger, and with a bigger minimap, you're able to see things a lot more easily. And when it comes to the visuals, remember, minimap shape should be square. Do not have it on round, because if you have it on round, you're going to be screwing yourself over with lower surface area. You're going to see a lot more with a square minimap. And you can see the rest of this. You can copy the rest of this. Nothing too much that I change here. And obviously, you can change around the colors and do whatever you want at that point. And then for the rest of this, you guys, I've already kind of explained the rest of this, so I'm just going to let you guys copy and paste that. Compass, I got minimap. Of course, you can do horizontal if you want to, but I think minimap is fine as well. And then crosshair is going to be static, just because having a static crosshair is going to help, you know, reduce your visual sickness, and you'll feel a little bit more on point, at least in my eyes. Crosshair dot is going to be on. Center dot scale is going to be largest. Crosshair spread on. Crosshair opacity is going to be 100, and then you can change your crosshair color if you need to. I just think the white's fine, but some people like having a purple or something like that, which is also really nice as well. And the rest of these are pretty much personal preference, and that should be it. But there you guys go, my best settings for Season 2 Reloaded. Let me know if these helped you in any way at all, and if I explain things in a justifiable manner, then let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you're going to be changing your settings to mine or adjusting some of your settings. I never really changed mine unless they introduced a new setting, but nothing was really too much introduced here. And I think I informed you guys as well as I could. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Been working hard on these videos. And we're just waiting for Season 3. Season 2 Reloaded is kind of boring. Not too much to talk about, but we're making the most of it. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitch at twitch.tv/themarkofahero if you guys want to see me play Warzone or get gameplays live. And you can subscribe to my second channel, More Hero, if you guys want to see even more content from me when it comes to Warzone. And my Hero Shorts channel if you guys want to see me live stream on YouTube or whatever other case may be. And I have short form content there, as well as on my TikTok at tiktok.com/themarkofahero. But I've been talking too much. I got to get this video out before, the rest of the freaking day. Thank you guys for the love and keep being awesome.